Hey everybody, it's Marty the JavaScript Party. It is like 8 o'clock or 7 o'clock at night, which is very unusual, but I did find myself home alone for a little bit there, and I just did not feel well throughout today. Um, it's weird. I don't know what the deal is. I've always tended to get sick on Saturdays a lot of times. Yeah, I guess it's kind of like you ease up from the week, and then it gives your body a little bit of time to sort of recover, and part of that is probably sometimes being a little sick. um, but anyways, so I've been working on this application, and basically, there was four tabs, um and basically so basically, voice in the browser is very rough. Like they've been working on it. Apparently, it only works in Chrome, is my understanding. I'm not sure, but and it's got the WebKit, and I don't know exactly why things are called WebKit. That would actually be interesting to know. Um, what does WebKit mean? WebKit mean in JS slash browser, and why is it called that? Mm, browser, the browser engine that was. See, this is weird. WebKit is, well, okay, so sometimes called WebKit. I have a feeling it was something. Oh, it's not a standard. It's not standard. It's a vendor specific implementation. Yeah. So okay. Yeah. So basically, yeah, there's no standard global speech recognition that works across all browsers. Um, so, and I guess that's where I guess it's just like an old name that came in. I guess that's what they used to call browsers, were WebKits. That, that was definitely something I didn't know. And all that. So, anyways, I'm in a weird spot at this point because it's like when I when I got done with Discrete, and I think I did the API after that, and basically what this is a list of every uh, object on the WebKit speech API that I expect to that I'm expecting, and then um, and then and if it's green with the checkbox, it's like I'm expecting it and it's there. And then if something ever shows up that's not in this list, it'll show up with like a yellow question mark, I think. And then if there's something that I'm expecting to be here and it's not showed up, so like let's say they changed max alternatives or something like that, I would see a red, because if they do change max alternatives, will likely it'll be broken. So, anyways, I've been going through all these. It was pretty straightforward, and then I started working on continuous, and like just everything just went sideways. Like I just could not. I got insanely confused. And I think it's and then I kind of learned that the reason it was so confusing is because of a concept called cognitive anchoring. So basically, I learned a whole set of ways to do things with discrete, and then I switched over to continuous. So I had like sort of a foundation of how things are supposed to work, and continuous was similar but weirdly different, and it just caused massive confusion. And then also, I sort of mixed all the code for handling continuous with discrete, and I think the reason I thought that, I think the reason I originally did that is because I didn't realize they would be very different. I thought they were going to be almost identical, and I guess in some ways they are almost identical, but in very subtle ways they're not, and that was super duper confusing. So basically, now I the last few days I spent, few sessions I spent, sort of taking this on result when there was a whole bunch of code in here and just sort of teasing out the two different pieces, the discrete handling and the continuous handling, and I did that, and then I definitely wrestled with what to do with this publish basic this signal. It's weird that it's called set. To me, I feel like that should be called publish, but you are actually setting a variable, and you're setting this variable that other processes throughout the application can listen for changes to it. Um, so it's kind of like RxJS. It does a lot of the stuff RxJS does, um, but it's also kind of it's different than RxJS. But I like it a little better. I felt the I don't know the effect thing. So basically, in order to listen to it in the constructor, you create this thing called an effect, which is a function, and this sort of wires up. And it's weird because um, it's very strange because excuse me it's very strange because like you don't do like a I don't know. To me, the effect is just a whole different way of looking at things than the way RxJS was or any other system. Um, it's very different than promises and stuff like that. But anyways, so I do like it better, but this does feel hokey. Um, and one of the things that's kind of weird is like if you see this is basically equivalent of listening, and setting this up is like basically saying listen for this and then assign whatever this change assigns whatever it changes to this. Now what's strange is if you have another signal, then this effect will run either way for either of them. So you don't get to really, you don't have a lot of, you don't have full control over when it's listening. So that leads to some weird issues that I've been wrestling with. But anyway, so continuous is like in a stable but still goofy situation. And one of the things that I said that I wanted to change, and I guess this will be a good time. But okay, so let me just say what's goofy about it is, so like if you go to discrete and you say something like, "Hello, how are you?" Right? Then you get like, you know, a record, and if you sometimes you have like other, there's only one, like you have alternatives and all that, and this is really all you want, all you care about. You know, you get the confidence, and then you get a max count, um, and then I have the English there just because I thought that that was useful because you could do different languages in this tool. But what is so? But I think this all makes sense. Like it totally makes sense. But what I did over here in continuous, okay, um, hello, how are you? What are you up to? So, um, what what you up to? Um, but with this, you get like, well, so as you saw, like while I was doing this, like different things were flashing by, so that's all lost. There was 21 different sets of records, and this is just the very last set of records. So I definitely want to be able to capture those and show them. But one of the things um, that is really messing with my head is the fact that you hit the same button to stop, but in discrete you don't hit a button to stop. And I think that I would rather it be a second button to stop. Um, or maybe change the color. Yeah, let me change the color to red um, when it's recording. I think that would be nice. Um, now, I another thing where I think cognitive anchoring really makes is really playing havoc on my brain is with angular material, because over time the way angular material you do coloring on buttons is just changing all the time, and so I can't remember exactly how you do buttons on this. So let's see. So this is my result. Here's my continuous component button. So you see here I change the text, but I don't change the color. So um, okay, so let me just, and I feel like, so I'm doing a lot of using ChatGPT to help me code a lot, and I definitely sense some sort of like just difference in the way, um, just the way my brain functions, um, and so I don't know. Like part of me just wants to copy this whole thing into ChatGPT and just ask it how to do it, but part of me wants to just like experiment. So I guess I'm gonna experiment. Style, and then I don't know how you set the color. I know setting the color. I guess the easiest way to do this will be come in here, and then this button. Okay, so filled. See, I guess what's hard for me right now is that there's probably a lot of ways that you can do this. Let's see. Let's say background. And then there's probably a right way to do it. That so background color is red. Okay, so it looks like we can just set it. Um, and then there's like a million ways to do this sort of thing. So let's see. So now, and sometimes something will work like that. In the like in the actual tool, but then it won't work in the won't work in actual, like when it actually compiles. So let me hang on 1 second. Hey, man. Yeah. Okay. No problem. Love you. Hey, Lex. Let me. I don't even know how to pause these videos. But it did look like the. It did look like it rebuilt. I always worry about these sort of things because that HAR thing doesn't actually recompile. So if I'm doing something that's a little bit different, um, but it looks like it's fine. Um, so then I probably, oops, sorry about that. So I'm doing something that, with this should be the easiest thing in the world. With Angular material, things sometimes are more complicated than they should be. Um, and then, okay, so now I believe I could do like a ng class, and I think you still do it that way. Um, um, Man, you know what? There's no reason to do this. Okay, so right now, basically, um, I have it like this, but there's no reason not to just add. Yeah, I think my first instinct was to um, add a second button, and I still think that was the smart thing to do. Um, and then basically, instead of, I guess what we could do is we can just move this whole. Okay, so we'll just delete this. And then there's probably like a color thing or something like that, like rules warn. Let's see. Yeah. So that is the way you're supposed to do things in um, Angular material. Um, and I don't, and Angular material is extremely um, like opinionated, which is like what you want. You actually do, like um, you do want like some sort of guidance on exactly how you're supposed to do things. Um, and then, um, but it is a bit of a pain to, like if you don't have like an absolute rock solid understanding of exactly how you're supposed to do it. Um, okay, so oh yeah, so this is reversed. So let's just go ahead and move this guy down. And this guy up. One thing like I could never figure out, like I had the hardest time learning jQuery. Once I learned it, it was so simple, but getting and it was because like jQuery just was very different than the way before, with especially with the chaining. Um, So, hello, how are you? Yeah, I think that is so much better. Um, and only because the I mean, it wouldn't be a big deal. It really wouldn't if, but it just looks identical to this one, and and it'll be easier for me to just keep that in my head. All right, so now, right now, I have one record, right? So it is, but I don't know if you noticed it before, but like, um, if I put more of a pause in between, I'll have two records. Hello, how are you? And that's a little different than that. But then this, so the last entry or the final signal basically had everything, but I had 16 actual total signals handled. So so I do want to show that, but I don't even think I'm delivering them. Well, yeah, I guess I must be because it is showing them. But I think so. Basically, in this continuous results, I have an array. I think right. Yeah, current request, which is a continuous result array, and then I guess what I want is something like all requests. And that is going to be an array of continuous result arrays. And hang on one second. Oh, that was my wife getting home. So now I know why I don't do these things in the evening. Uh, hey, Melissa, can you tell Lex to call Rod before he leaves? Oh, I guess it's too late then. Um, okay, so this is an array of continuous requests. So basically, um, every time I get a result, I want to push it into all results. Um, I think that'll just work. Um, and so continuous request gets overwritten by the latest result. All the results will go into the all requests. So basically now I want to take this and hopefully I believe good. I believe what'll happen now is if I do this, if I say all results, all results. I'm thinking that uh, and this is a length. I believe what will happen now is I'm hoping the signal count and the um, length of the array stay the same. And I'm going to say that this is probably like the most anything has made sense to me with regards to this the data since we started continuous. Continuous has just been absolutely confusing to me. Okay. So signal count is 1, all results left. We don't have any records. So we did get an empty array, it looks like. So the very first one is just an empty array, which is probably a bummer. I guess what I'll do is well, okay. Um, Hello, how are you? Okay, yeah. So basically, we got that was what I was hoping, and then and I guess what we want to do is over here. This would be a good place. Um, I'm just gonna say all, and then it's weird. Okay. All requests res. All requests dot length. And I guess it will make sense to make this sort of a button, a clickable button, or a clickable link. Um, Hello, how are you? Like make that so then you could see all of them. I guess that's the first step. Um, so yeah, I guess that'll be what I work on tomorrow. Sorry, this all the weird stopping and taking care of stuff and all that. And I was given a mission, and that was to tell my son to call my other son before he came over, before he left the house, and I didn't do it. So I think he might have already been gone though at that point. But anyways, yeah. So tomorrow, I want to make this a link, or yeah, like a yes, something that's clickable. I guess it'll be a link, and then maybe I'll change this to view all. And then basically probably hide this whole table if if they say they viewed them all, and then um, have like um, another button, or have that kind of look the same way when we have all of them viewed, so you could just view the last. Um, and we'll see if that how that is. It may be good. It may not. It may be like when we go to view the view or we may want to view any given one, like so then um, that'll be interesting because see we have an array of arrays. I guess we don't even need that current anymore because it's just the very last one that's in the current list. um, so I don't know. So and I believe there's other information, I'm pretty sure, that is useful. So I don't know. But I think we're definitely this. Like I said, this is the least confused I've been since um, since we started continuous. So that's good. Anyways, happy coding, everybody. Bye.